around the world. Of course, it takes a couple of years for you to actually get these patents issued, but patents that we filed a couple of years back are starting to get issued now. Just on display technology, we have 21 patents so far. And this perhaps surpasses many people's expectations, but we've been doing a lot of our own research and R&D work on display technology. Here we're comparing the Mi 5 display with Redmi Note 2, which is a great Xiaomi device that has a higher than average display. And you can tell how much more vibrant the color and the brightness on the Mi 5 display is. Here you can see it in a gaming situation, same comparison. It's great for taking photos because you can just see what you're about to take much more accurately. So it's a great looking display to complement the camera. Now, the key to have a very bright, vibrant, and bright display is how you light it from the back, right? Display, think of it simply as an LCD with LEDs in the back and a way to spread the light. Typically on 5.2-inch devices, you'll find displays that are in the 300 to 500 nit brightness level, and they accomplish that by putting anywhere from 12 to 14 LEDs, individual lights behind the LCD. Now, we wanted even more than that, so we actually have 16 LEDs on the Mi 5 display. And in fact, we chose to go with 5.15 inches instead of 5 inches, precisely so we could add more LEDs, because we need a little bit more space behind the LCD. So Mi 5 has a 16 LED light display, which makes it ultra bright and yet quite power efficient. And the reason is we're using really power efficient LEDs. It's about 17% in power consumption reduction in power consumption if compared to the average LEDs that you'd expect on a flagship. And don't underestimate the importance of a 17% sort of drop in power consumption here, especially given that the display is one of the most important power drain elements on the phone, along with the processor and heavy data usage. And we managed to achieve 600 nits in brightness. A nit is basically a candela per square meter, if I'm not mistaken. The Mi 5 gets up to 600 nits, which is really, really bright. If you combine this brightness capability with the 16 LEDs with the very low reflectivity glass, and especially this one really, really cool technology that we pioneered with Mi 4i called sunlight display, you get astonishing outdoor performance. I will zoom in briefly on sunlight display. This is something that we are very proud of. We've worked pretty hard on this. It basically dynamically adjusts the contrast at a pixel level in response to light, to environmental light. It makes the darker parts of the content, whether it's a photo or anything that you're looking at, it makes the darker parts lighter so you can see it better without making the light parts lighter too, because that explodes, it uses too much power, etc. So just make the darker lights come out so you can see the image better, especially when you're outside. I'm going to show you a really cool video that basically simulates the effect of really harsh sunlight and how sunlight display technology works. This is really cool. Check it out. There you go. And all of this, by the way, is done in hardware. So it's done in real time, and it doesn't actually use much power at all because it's done by a DSP that's built into the A20 package. All right, just a couple more things I want to touch on. First one is NFC. So we're working in partnership with NXP to bring NFC back to Xiaomi devices. Mi 5 supports all of the NFC functionality, reading, but also writing to any cards, as well as card virtualization. Cart virtualization is what you'd use, for example, for electronic entry doors, which is a very important feature of NFC. The example that I'm showing here is one of topping up a bus card where the phone is essentially, quote-unquote, downloading credits via an app and then writing it to the actual card. Right? So you're writing to a card like you would in one of these machines where you top up at the train station, for example. So this is a new feature that we're supporting with MI5, NFC write mode. Quick Charge 3.0, which is also part of the A20 package. So it's supported by MI5. It's about 20% faster than Quick Charge 2.0. The cool thing about Quick Charge 3 is that it adjusts pretty linearly which charger you're using. And in our testing, we were able to get like an additional 2.5 hours of usage, average usage, if you will, with just 5 minutes charging with a Quick Charge 3.0 supporting charger. And you can get all the way up to 80 or 90% with a 3,000 milliamp hour battery in about an hour. So it's pretty spectacular. Just to kind of put it in context, what can you do with 10 minutes of charging?